Right, I think I'm just gonna call this shit. I want to talk about while I take a walk because I feel like there's so much shit that I want to talk about. And when I'm on my walk, I definitely be thinking a lot about the shit that I want to talk about. And I'll be talking about it in my head with my spirit guides, having full blown fucking conversation about some shit that I feel like should definitely be talked about or just addressed. You feel me? So I recently had employment at a fancy ass place. It's not fancy, but it's well known, especially in the mukbang community. If you're a mukbanger, okay, and you do seafood boils and shit like that, it's the Savannah Seafood Shack, right? And I was employed there. And when I got employed there, the manager, like, the way she explained my pay was that I make $13 an hour and we also additionally get tips added as well, is what she said, right? And so I had worked, of course, whatever my training shifts were, and then I finally got put on the schedule, okay? Mind you, when I come into this job, like, once you've worked in the food industry, it's like, most shit is like common sense. Like, it takes other people a while to maybe learn and grasp things, but me, I'm a fast learner. I catch on very fast. That's just what the fuck it is. So, I'm peeping the scene while this is taking place, right? So it was almost as if like she wanted to force me into working like certain hours, and I had to let her know what my availability was and what was going on. I feel like she didn't like that. When I finally got my check and looked at how much I got paid, I seen my pay at $8 an hour. Okay, so I calculated that, and then I added whatever additional the tips was into that factor, and it was the full amount of my paycheck. So I called, or I didn't call her, but I texted her and I asked her like why the information was what it was in the paper. And she's like, oh, that's something that, you know, your manager should have explained to you, whatever. And I'm like, no, she didn't say that. And she's like, oh, I apologize, whatever. So I come back to work the next day, and like she addresses the situation, but she's like saying things to like trigger certain feelings and emotions out of me. It's kind of like this lady like looked at me as if I was like not smart. And even when she was like talking about the paycheck, like she tried to use that like belittling tactic. She's like, well, if you would have added the hours, 8 hours, you would have seen that you got way more than your paycheck. Like trying to make it seem like, oh, well, you got way more than $8 an hour, so why are you upset? My thing is the principle of I'm working at a job where I get tipped. I've never had employment at a place that I got tipped at and didn't receive just the full tip, unless I was like tipping somebody out, of course, right? So I'm like, the fact that you're telling people, oh, this is how much you make an hour, but that's really not how much they make an hour. You're factoring in the tips into that hourly wage. It's not correct, proper information. So when people come there and they order, I had a couple one day, and this guy's like, he's looking at the tip screen and he's making that joke that all black people make, and I really wish we would stop doing that. He's making that joke of, for what? What I'm doing that for? And then the lady's like, what are you talking about? And he points at the tip screen. So I was like, tips are optional. They're not, tips are optional. It's not mandatory. And at that moment, I had registered in my head, like, you know, I've never been even told about the tips. So they're taking the tips that we make, at that place are a lot of fucking money. If it can contribute, what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, if it can contribute $5 extra to everybody's paycheck so that they all equally get paid 13 hours, that's a lot of tips. So when you are going to these places like the Savannah Seafood Shack, understand that when you're tipping people out, you're actually paying for their minimum wage. You're paying for their minimum wage. And I don't even think, because this isn't like a service, it's a shack. So, you order your food and then we bring it to the table. Sometimes we'll clean up after you if you don't clean up after yourself, right? But it's not really like restaurant serving like industry. It's not what it is. It's essentially like cashier, fast food kind of vibe. And I know like all the shit about that is fucking wrong, yo. All the shit about that is wrong, and it really fucking bothered me. And then the way she addressed it also bothered me. But then it was like after the fact, she was trying to like make scenarios to make me look like I was a bad worker or employee. Like there were people outside that were waiting for a table and she put them on the waiting list. She never told any of us that they were on the waiting list, so they're just outside waiting, right? So they finally come in like, oh, she told us, we were on the waiting list. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to put my coworker like out there like, oh, but she didn't tell us that, so we didn't know. But at that point, once they came up to the register after interacting with her, the lady spoke to me and she's like telling me that my manager has an issue with accountability. Okay? And she completely does. She's not my manager anymore. She definitely has an issue with accountability, and anything that she has to take accountability for, she's going to blame it on the other person. So this last day, I couldn't make it to work because I had a situation going on, right? Mind you, I just started. Mind you, she lied to me about how much we were getting paid. I called her out on it. When I first started, they didn't even give me the information for me to set up my direct deposit. And I'm like, you're not about to play that game where I work for you and you don't pay me. And I could tell that was the energy of the situation. So I addressed it, right? Another girl who's new, her direct deposit information, same issue with mine. And she didn't get paid on the day she was supposed to get paid. And because she's as vocal as me, like she didn't get a solution for her problem. It was just her waiting, right? So I missed the day, text my GM and let her know that I wasn't coming. And then the store manager texted me and she called me, but I was in the midst of handling the situation, so I didn't respond. And when I looked at my phone, she had called me again, and then she also told me, oh, you not showing up for work 30 minutes before work is not acceptable. I'm gonna have to let you go. So she fired me because I called off a day because I had a situation that I needed to attend to. Mind you, there was somebody else who did the same thing just the other day and they didn't lose their job. So here I am just observing the situation at this point, because like what else can I do? Like I'm not about to argue with no bitch, because that's the energy that she was giving. Like she wanted me to argue with her because she wanted me to like beg for my job or beg for me to keep my employment. And it's like, yo, you've already established to me that you're an untrustworthy individual. Like I can't trust you. You hired me on the pretenses of me making $13 an hour plus tips. I'm only flat out making $13. No tips, bitch. That's my minimum wage. And like, there are so many people that have to deal with shit like this within an industry where there's not fair treatment or fair payment. And a lot of these places it's because most of their employees are younger children. Either they're starting off in college or they're literal high school kids. So you're abusing the fact that they don't understand certain things and have certain knowledge so that your company can make more money, which is fine. Do whatever the fuck you want. But when I call you out for it because I'm not a fucking child and I understand the law and what the fuck is actually supposed to be going on, don't like try to target me and make me into like the bad person because you couldn't pull a fast one over on me. Like, that's not my issue. So yeah, this was something that like really fucking bothered me, because even when it comes to like me looking around, noticing that, oh, most of the people that work in the kitchen are people who are